Hello and welcome to the Palaver Project. My name is Michael Rivera, and tonight I'm joined by my junior correspondent, Thalia Rivera. Thalia, how are you tonight?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Thalia, she accompanied me to San Diego Rocket Con, and we had a good time over there. It was really fun. What did you think, Thalia? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I like looking around and seeing all these cool looking toys and figures.
Yeah, it was a huge variety of figures. There were stacks upon stacks of comic books. We even saw a stormtrooper out there.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. It was a nice little convention, and I guess Tali, you've been to both San Diego Comic Con and San Diego Rocket Con now. Did you feel like San Diego Rocket Con was a lot easier to get around?
Yeah, it was very crowded in the Comic Con. Many people were there and it was really crowded, but in Rocket Con it was like a miniature version of, well, the same thing.
A little bit of everything, I think, right?
Yeah.
You had a little bit of everything. You had games there, you had comics, you had collectibles, a lot of toys, which was really great for me being a toy collector. And there was a good amount of celebrities. I need to thank you, Thalia, because the picture I used on Instagram of myself and Larry Houston, you took. I did not know you took that picture. It was a nice picture. People really liked it on Instagram.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Does that mean I'm famous?
Your work is famous. Your picture is famous. If you guys haven't picked up yet, Thalia is my daughter. And for some time now, she's wanted to just jump on to the podcast game. And so I'm going to give her the opportunity and let's have a chat tonight. And maybe if this goes well, you guys will probably be hearing it, tomorrow.
Also, a shout out to Bunny 17. They have been writing their own educational kids books, written by Kevin Moyers and Casey Sanchez Moyers, illustrated by Casey Sanchez Moyers.
That's right. It's a father and daughter duo, and we saw them. They're Bunny 17 Media. We saw their display over in at RocketCon, and we started talking to them. And it really gave us inspiration to try to do more collaborations. Now, for a while now, I've been writing little short stories, and I have Thalia and her older brother Michael work on illustrations, and their illustrations are the motivation for writing the stories. And so I definitely think we should get back on track on doing those, and maybe maybe down the road we'll talk to Bunny 17 Media. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a really great idea.
I think so too. The book that we purchased from them was Search for the Book of the Guardians, right? It was part of the adventures of Casey and the Jackalope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Adventures of Casey and the Jackalope. Search for the Book of the Guardians, right? That's the full title, and yeah, it's a neat little book. And I love the illustrations by his daughter, and I think the writing is really cool. It makes me feel like we definitely should give this a go.
Well, I've already been looking into the book and I've been reading it, and I really enjoy it. I feel like there's a lot of excitement in it and a bunch of adventure and a bunch of cute animals that I really want to meet in real life.
Cool. So this is definitely gained the seal of approval. That's great. And so I'll definitely we'll look into that later on. Maybe pick up some more books, and I'm sure you guys can find them on Instagram. We found them easy on Instagram, and you guys too. So you guys can go ahead and get in contact with them and check out their books. They're good stuff. So, anyways, I know you had a couple of things that you wanted to talk about in this podcast, and so let me ask you first, though. Let's set the groundwork here. Why did you want to do a podcast? You know, it's been a couple of days. Actually, it's been a couple of weeks that you've been asking me to do this. And now we're finally sitting down by the table here and on the table here, and we're finally doing this podcast. Well, what made you want to do it?
Well, I just noticed like you and Moses and everybody else, like you guys, how you guys communicated and bonded together. I thought like maybe like, well, we have that bond between each other, and I thought maybe we could do one about father and daughter, so we can be more in bond together and talk about things that I always wanted to talk about with you and want to share with everybody else.
I like that. Cool. Yeah. You know, our dynamic is really neat. I mean, we're both very silly people, and we like making jokes, and we're very talkative. We definitely go have our back and forth. And so I think that's you know what, it's great to have it recorded and so that we can look back and see, what we learned from it. So this is a great opportunity, and we'll go ahead and let's start with let's learn more about you, because a lot of people, they already kind of know. You can ask questions as we go back and forth, asking questions about each other, the questions that we want to ask about each other, and then we can start building up from there. Okay. So let's start. Well, Thalia, you are in 6th grade. This is the final year of elementary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And are you ready to go to middle school? Are you excited?
I'm excited about leaving the school.
Why are you excited of leaving school?
Ooh, that's an easy question. There's a bunch of kids that annoy me.
They annoy you. So why are you annoyed by them? I mean, it's elementary school. Everyone should be pretty friendly with each other, right? Or what?
No, this school is like an apocalypse in like one little tiny building. Like, if the teacher tries to tell you something to settle down, they won't listen. And if it's a sub, it gets even worse. They won't listen at all. And with my class, when there's the teachers there, Mr. Lake, everyone's really strict and they're all calm because they know him. He gets mad and he'll hand out procedures if you do something bad. But when there's another sub, and everybody takes advantage of it, they don't really care about how he or she feels. They just mess around because they're like, okay, you know what? This is free time. We got this. Come on, let's get out of here. Let's get crazy. And they start, being crazy.
So it's just insanity there. It's just crazy over there. You don't, these kids don't really pay attention.
Oh my God, I'm so allergic about talking about these kids. Ooh.
You're allergic to elementary school.
Ooh.
You're almost done, and I've seen what the counselor wants to put you in. They want to put you in accelerated classes for next year in middle school, which I totally agree. I think you have the capacity to handle it. I think you can handle that kind of work, and I think once you get into accelerated classes, and for those who are already out of school like myself, those are honors classes. Those are like higher level classes. With those accelerated classes, I think that it's gonna help you a lot, because you're gonna be with more kids who are more focused on the task at hand. Right now, you're in general ed, and everybody's just kind of there's no direction. And what I keep telling you, there's a lot of these kids lack the direction and the discipline to get ahead. And especially if you look at their grades, you'll see that. You'll see that their grades are subpar. And as for yourself, you need to lead by example. And you can see the whole place crashing down, but you have to maintain your composure. You have to maintain your composure. You have to maintain your study skills, your learning skills. You need to be the beacon of light to lead them.
The rainbow that leads to
let's not get nuts.
Aw.
But you could definitely just keep showing through example, and that's how I want you to do it. Lead by example. And so now with middle school, I mean, what are you looking forward to in middle school?
I'm looking forward to the after school programs and the activities. I really want to be in the and I want to be in band again since I'm already in band in 6th grade and I think I have a little bit of experience on the drum. I would like to use the drum again in middle school.
Right. Overall, I mean, this might be a deep question, but I think we've talked about it. We've talked about it a few times before, and I kind of want to see where your mind's at right now. What do you want? What do you see yourself doing later on, like past middle school, past high school, and maybe even past college? What do you want to study? What do you want to learn? What do you want to learn? If you had a choice to pick the classes that you could be in, what are the classes you want to be in?
What I want to learn? I want to learn how babies were born.
Okay, this is a perfect time for a break. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, you're gonna learn that plenty in middle school, and probably you already learned it a little bit in 6th grade.
But what I would like to learn the most is psychology. I want to learn how to become a friend to all and someone for you to cry on when you're feeling down. So call my number if you want to cry on me.
Yeah. Wait till you actually got that doctorate. So, I think that's a great path. Yeah, and I think whatever it means of helping people, and helping people is it's something that I think we need more and more of because a lot of people need help. There's a lot of people who are suffering from troubles, from problems, and they need somebody to talk to. So that's good. That's an admirable choice. And so, as a dad, I'm proud that you have that set for you, and I hope you do achieve it. What's your fondest memory of your time in elementary?
Moises!
Oh, geez.
Whoa, if none of you guys know about Moises.
And nobody needs to know about Moises.
Moises is my crush. He likes me. I like him. We're best friends, and we like to battle people in this game we have in elementary school called Gaga Pit. And we like beating people. Many, many people.
Wow, so it sounds like you guys are both horrible, horrible people.
I find that offensive to my kind.
Well, Moises is your friend, and I'll accept that.
Friend.
Oh, jeez. Anywho, I think the real reason why we're doing this is because you want to ask me a bunch of questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, spill the beans. What is it what you want? What do you want to ask me?
Where do babies come from?
That'll be a topic for another time.
You're right. Well, I have a lot of questions, but I'm just gonna start off with one first, and then we'll get a little deeper.
Okay.
I would like to know your opinion about. Don't worry, I'm getting there. About heaven and hell.
This is funny that you mentioned this because I actually, in an earlier podcast, we brought this up. I brought up to Moses and Oscar that I had talked to you because we had a conversation not too long ago about sympathy for the devil. Not the song, but the actual, the topic of having sympathy for the devil. Like the devil, why don't we feel sorry for him? Why don't we try to, help him? Or what can't he be saved? And I kind of told you that God and the devil are kind of like, they're symbols of good and evil. They're not people per se. They're simply
Spirits.
They're manifestations, they're strength, they're energies of good and evil. They're energy manifested in our heads as things, God and the devil. Devil represents all that's evil and selfish and detrimental to the world. And while God is supposed to be justice and equality and enlightenment and positivity and all that. So that's how I broke it down. Now, Moses was actually the more critical. He was like, why didn't we just talk more about God and the devil? He first admired your thought process because he didn't really expect a kid to be asking those type of questions. So you got points from Moses for asking the question. But he also questioned why I answered the way I answered. And I'm kind of wondering how you felt about the answer. How did you feel when I told you about the whole God and devil dynamic and how to see it?
First of all, after I answer this, you better answer my question, because you didn't let me finish the whole question. And
Fair enough.
And I felt kind of, I don't know, like, I felt sort of sad a little bit, feeling that this spirit will never be free and feel the light and feel hope, and instead just live in misery for the rest of its life. And I know, like you said, it's simply a spirit, but yet that spirit can also be set free as every other spirit that's in heaven.
I guess it is the question of interpretation of what it is. I mean, I almost feel like spirit is even too much to speak of it. I mean, I understand you hear about the Holy Spirit, and I know you hear about, dark energy, like the evil energy and stuff, and you think of it as a spirit, as something like a celestial, out of this world being. But who is to say how God and the devil really are? Is it true? Is God and the devil like independent beings, or are they just a collection of energies from different people? I mean, that's for you to determine along your life what you see, how you see God and the devil, what you see good and what you see evil. Life is made of interpretations and perception, and so. I feel like I want to leave it open for you to discover. I don't want to kind of, not everybody's going to have the answers. Just because we're older than you doesn't necessarily mean that everybody older than you has answers to your questions. Sometimes it's going to take a lot of study and discovery to find the answers yourself. But I don't want you to feel like I understand that you feel bad for him. Like if the devil was a person, let's say hypothetically, if the devil was a person, yeah, I would feel bad.
Well, first of all, did I not just say that you would answer my question that I didn't even finish saying?
Go ahead, spew it out.
Okay, thank goodness, because I really at the subject you're talking about right now, I didn't even know really much what to say, because I haven't really thought about that subject a lot. I mean.
Then let's move on. Okay, so you asked about heaven and you asked about hell. What do I see heaven and hell as?
No, I was gonna say, do you believe in it?
Do I believe in it? Ooh.
Do you believe there is such thing as a heaven and a hell? And I will explain my opinion, if you want me to go first or if you want to.
Well, it depends on what you think hell and heaven is.
Oh, so I get to speak? Okay, thank you. Well, first of all, there's this story in the Bible about Adam and Eve disobeying God and being kicked out with the chancla out of the garden. And because they ate this fruit that apparently the devil, I guess, was disguised as a snake, and ended up telling them to eat the fruit because it's good for them and they'll have all the knowledge that God has. So I'm thinking, is there such thing as a heaven or hell? Because everybody in this world has committed a sin before. Like nobody, I don't think, anyone I know has ever not committed a sin. Like, no one's perfect, and it's like, is there, like, if heaven was such a thing, then everybody would not have a sin, right? or like God.
Everybody's born with this original sin because Adam and Eve did the first sin, and we're all born with it. Supposedly, based on the Catholic religion, which is what you are baptized in. The baptism is supposed to get rid of original sin. Basically, it's supposed to wipe the slate clean. That's what the ceremony is all about, baptism. And so you're not supposed to have the sin anymore. Supposedly that ceremony with the water, the holy water and the ointment and stuff is to clean your soul so that you no longer have that original sin. So now the choice is yours what path you want to take. However, as a child, you're getting baptized as a child, so you're going to make mistakes along the way because you don't know any better, but you're not deliberately sinning, you know. But how is it interpreted by people? Like, how is it interpreted by God? I mean, it's like, we think as humans, and as humans think, oh, you know, if that little kid steals that candy, it's not bad, right? I mean, it's a kid. He's being a silly kid. But what if God's not so forgiving? Maybe he's God like, you stole a candy when you were 4 years old. You're going to hell. I mean, it's silly, right? It's like silly stuff. But we don't know how God thinks because who's spoken to God here? You know, other than us praying night after night, it doesn't necessarily mean we have a response, direct response, that God's not talking in our ear. So how do we know what he's thinking? And so back to heaven and hell. You want to answer, do I believe in heaven? Do I believe in hell? Right now, I'm going to tell you this. I do not believe that I'm going to be we're having wings in my back and wearing white pajamas and flying in clouds. I don't believe in that. Do I believe my energy will go on? That I still have hope in. I have hope. Because, and that's really what it is. All of life is about belief and hope. It's hoping that this world means something. This life means something, you know. And if it doesn't mean something in something beyond us, beyond when we pass away, then we have to make it worthwhile right now in this world, in this realm. So do I believe in a heaven the same way everybody else does? No. Do I believe in an afterlife? I do.
Well,
Do I believe in hell? You know what hell would be for me?
Fire and flames?
No.
Pitchforks?
No.
Me? Every day? Haunting you?
Nope. What would be hell for me is not existing. I would be gone and I wouldn't know it because I wouldn't exist anymore. My brain and body shut down. I'd be zip. That's it. That's the end. And that overall would suck. That would be the ultimate hell. But what do I do? There's nothing you can do there. Hell is gone. Hell is oblivion. When you're nothing and you're gone and nothing and everything you work is for and stuff is gone too. That would be hell. Hell to me would be nothingness. Complete and utter obliteration. Gone. So, people can be right. If people who believe that, you know, we're all just dead and that's it, then that's hell for me. So, my hope and my faith, and my faith is different than just religion. You know, we don't go to church. We don't go to church every week or every Sunday. And because I want to leave it open for us to
discover it ourselves.
I don't want you to be coached into believing something. I do want to give you the broad strokes of what I know and what I've learned in the Bible, the ancient text. But I also want to give you guys the opportunity to not feel bound by that, because I know a lot about guilt. When you read that book and the Bible and you start trying to live by that book, it's very difficult because that was a book that was over 2,000 years ago. Well, the world has changed since then, and the laws have changed since then, and people interpretations of those stories have changed since then. You know, and you're only going with we're learning as we go along in this life. So what they knew back then is not what we know now. What we know is more. So we have to keep learning. We have to keep evolving. We can't just be bound by the old book. The book was a nice guideline, but it shouldn't be what you base everything on. You should always continue to keep learning, to learn more about yourself and learn more about the physical world and learn about the spiritual world. And there's so many different ways of doing it, and still be a good person. So heaven to me is an afterlife. Any type of afterlife is anything where my energy is still strong. I would love it that I would be conscious of this. That I would be actually I could see and feel and touch and hear and zoom by through the galaxy as a spirit, as a soul, as a star, something, right? That would be ideally heaven. Hell would be nothingness. The end. And that's worry. That would be more worried. That hell worries me. Because fire and brimstone, yeah, I feel pain, but you're still feeling.
I do not believe in it. Woo! That was so easy. No, I don't believe in it for a reason. First of all, I do not believe in a heaven. I believe more that maybe we are like in the center, where we are just little, I wouldn't say ghosts, but like these souls just wandering around the galaxy, and like you said, but also kind of like going here to come visit and see what we have become, probably in the apocalypse already, but coming and seeing all this things that we have created or we have destroyed, and just seeing how our loved ones have grown. And I'm pretty sure you'll be watching over me every day.
So let me just say, okay, so you don't believe in a heaven. You just think when you die, you become a ghost.
Well, yeah. So like a soul.
And you're just wandering the universe. Okay.
Yeah. Please don't disturb me ever again.
Continue.
Thank you. And I do not believe in a hell because, first of all, if there is no heaven, then there is no hell. Because I have no idea. But I just don't believe in hell because everybody in this world has a nice soul. Okay, maybe not some, but many of us have really good souls. And even though we do bad things, yes, sometimes, we always try to make up for them. Even though some people, like the people you see on the news who haven't been doing good, I have a feeling they don't do good because they saw it. They saw it happen, or they just don't have hope.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I feel like there's a couple of people who are in this world that don't have no redemption. I'm gonna tell you that even like I said, I pointed out the devil does not deserve any, has no redemption because he's done so many horrible things. If he's a person, if he's real, which I don't see it that way. So the same thing here. People here, they're real and they've done real bad things. I think there's no redemption. I feel like they're dead and they're gone because they've wasted their essence. They've corrupted themselves. They've become so mired into their dark energy. They suck light. They're on their own miniature black holes. They suck so much light that they just collapse upon themselves. They don't illuminate. They just fizzle out. That's how I see it. And I feel like the ones who have done good and continue to do good shine the brightest after they die.
Well, I'd like to kind of stop you right there and...
Good, because we're going to stop right there.
Nope, point something.
You're going to make one last point, and we're going to wrap it up because we're going to go with a short episode here.
All right. You know how you said that it's like they have their miniature black holes because they're all sucking up all that light?
Okay.
I would like you to think about this. Maybe, I'm just saying, maybe you should look into their background or their backstory, and like they say, don't judge a book from its cover. We don't know these people. We just see them on the news, right? Right? We just see them
on the news. Okay. Oh, well, great. Keep going.
And they don't tell us the backstory. They just tell us what we know right now. And And that was another question I was going to ask. About,
Okay, but let me say this. Let me tell you this right here. So, we see the crimes that they do. The criminals have do their crimes, and they're being judged by a jury of their peers. They're taken to court, and they're judged by their jury. Now, that jury is going to go ahead and look back at that background, the backstory, what led from A to B, what led him to do the bad thing he did. And they are going to see more of his character. And then they're going to determine the judgment. And if you follow along from the beginning to the end, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just see the news and say, oh, he's a bad person. But if you follow along and watch how he gets judged by people, by a jury of his peers, and whether or not he's been convicted and he's been found guilty, then you see there's some ground there. And not saying that people are perfect. People are not perfect. People can make mistakes too. Overall, only in the end, after they die, are they going to figure out whether or not they did the wrong or not? And if they did the wrong or not, if they did the wrong, they're not going to shine. If they didn't do the wrong, then they will shine. But I'm telling you this: if they were bad, I believe that that their essence collapsed upon themselves because they've corrupted themselves. They corrupted themselves. I'm not going by what you see on TV. I'm because that's only a piece of it. You're right. You should always be skeptical and ask questions. It's like, okay, what happened? Why did he do this? Why did he steal from this guy? Was he hungry? Did he need food? Did he need money? What? I understand that. That's open to further investigation, further inquiry. Let's just work with the hypothetical. If he is bad, right? If he is bad, then I feel my opinion is that he won't illuminate after he dies. That's his hell. Now, if he didn't do anything bad, then he'll illuminate. But that's not us to decide. That's beyond our control. That's just universe. That's the laws of the universe. So, did I explain it kind of?
Sort of. You got me confused at the what was it again? What were we talking about? What? Doritos? What?
Doritos. I like Cheetos myself.
No.
Flaming hot.
No. I like pizza.
That's right, and I'm on a slice of pizza. So let's wrap this up.
Wait.
Oh? Okay, we have a retort. Come on, bring it.
So I would like to actually talk about Adam and Eve and our humanization. A lot of people, well, not a lot, but people think that first of all, we all grew up from Adam and Eve. Well, some people think that. Others think scientifically and think that we used to be, apparently I think monkeys it was. And we just started to become cavemen and other stuff like that. And we just started to process all this information that we saw and learned. And we kept going with it. But what I feel is I think the Adam and Eve one I kind of more believe in, because Adam and Eve, they committed sin. They committed a sin because they didn't obey God, right? Well, we all have committed a sin. Like I said before, we're not all perfect. And I think that maybe that's how we grew. We grew from Adam and Eve, and we learned from their mistakes. So we obeyed, some of us obeyed the 10 commandments of God that He gave us. And I'm just going to say my opinion right here. It's gonna sound kind of weird, but I'm wondering, how did they get all this information from the Bible? If the Bible, or when all this Adam and Eve stuff and everything else was happening, wasn't this a really, really long time ago? Like, nobody existed but, well, Adam and Eve and everybody else. So how did people start to learn this? Were there fossils? Were there anything that could have shown this? I mean, but what could really show it? Like, how was the Bible made? Like, how did we find this information from the Bible and like write it down into this book we call the Bible? That's what I'm wondering. How did we get this information? Did we ask someone who lived a long time? But then again, no one really lived that really, really long time period. But I'm just wondering how we found that out. Like, I know scientists they find fossils and skulls sometimes and try to find things from that. But I feel like, wait, how did they know about this just by looking at a fossil? Like, how did they come up with these stories that they put in the Bible?
Okay. Well, I can answer some of this if you want me to answer it right now, or you want to leave it open.
Well, I'd like to leave it open till the next time we talk.
Okay, let's leave it open the next time we talk, and then when we start next episode, we'll go ahead and start talking about how I'm going to explain to you what I learned about the history of the Bible. Okay?
That, and maybe we could talk about school.
And possibly favorite Chinese food. So folks, for Thalia Rivera,
Bye.
this is Michael Rivera saying, as you were.
Yeah.